Now, you know, your voice, your views are critical to the conversations we're having here on the show. Can you weigh in this evening? I wonder if it's a concern of yours in terms of protecting the integrity of that institution of parliament. Those who take up the oath of office, do you believe they are invested in it in as far as upholding every rule that is contained in that oath of office? What are your views? 072-110-558. For those who take up the oath of office, are they genuinely invested in it? Leadership and governance expert Professor Mazwe Majola joins us in studio now for more on that conversation. Good to have you, Prof, and thank you very much for your time. The takeaway from me from listening to that is that repeated corruption scandals appear not to be a deterrent for individuals to take up a seat and be a part of the National Assembly. How does that affect the perception that the public has and the trust that the public has in this democratic institution?
Yes, good evening, Thabo. Thank you very much. So you've got different levels and kinds of leaders or leadership. You'll have what we call elected leaders or leadership. These are people who are elected by structures. People, they will vote for that person. And then obviously it will be term-based, whether it's 3 years or 5 years.
Yes.
But of course, that organization will be governed by a constitution and also some values of that organization. And we'll have appointed leaders, whether they are managers, those who are working, they are at the mercy of their bosses. These are people who are appointed to manage. And then you'll have different other categories. But probably for now, let's focus on this one. So the parliament, the MPs, they are elected leaders. They are elected by structures, especially the ANC, because the ANC, they've got structures coming from branch level to region and all sorts of.
Right.
However, even though certain individuals can put a name of this person, the organization, because the organization must vet these people before the organization, they've got a right to say, no, we cannot send this one because we are sending this one on our behalf.
Right.
So it means that we've got parties or organizations in our country which unfortunately who are still bereft or lack the ethical leadership and principled and values-driven leadership, whereby they can be able to say, no, we cannot send this one to Parliament, we can send this one because of our culture of integrity and honesty and transparency. Right. This person cannot represent
So, I mean, that would bring to question the robustness of the regulatory regime that brings people into parliament. I mean, we know these were highly contested elections, and one of the things that would have come out of this, and it's not really, I mean, put the politics aside and the individuals aside, but one of the things was, of course, this notion that was tested in our courts, whether somebody who's been convicted for more than a number of particular years should be barred from going to parliament. And that seems to be the only condition, a convicted person not making it there. But if you are an adult citizen, if you are free to participate in political activity, you're free to go to parliament.
So these are, the problem is with the parties, the organizations, because it's them who send these individuals to parliament. Parliament cannot say, probably at some stage, Parliament will have to look into that in terms of looking into a regulation or act that Parliament itself will be able to swift members who are coming to Parliament, even from different political organizations, and say, but this one we cannot accept in Parliament because of 1, 2, 3. But at the moment, Parliament does not have that right. So it just take whatever the political party it's given, and then they take that person. And it's so unfortunate, as Junior was saying there, that these people are called honorable. You know, that word or that term honorable is not, it's a very serious one. You know, how can you call someone honorable, someone who still has a cloud hanging over him or her because of either fraud or any other malfeasance or corruption, but that person is still called honorable member, so and so. It's very, very
and that's the oxymoron, because then people look at that and they say these are supposed to be most honorable members, but it seems to many, when they look at politicians as a profession, they look upon them as the most corrupt.
These are our lawmakers, you know, people who go there and make law of the nation, of the country, you know. So these are people who should be exemplary. These are people who should taking accountability. People should be saying, wow, we can see what it means to be a member of parliament.
Absolutely. And exercise oversight. Does this limit their oversight ability?
No, I mean, of course, when they go there, they will do their job. I mean, if someone is, for instance, a person like Dr. John Hlope, it's a legal guru. Hopefully, he will participate and contribute into that space, you know, sent by MK, and then others. Obviously, depending on the organization that is sending, whether they tolerate incompetency and they tolerate mismanagement or lethargy. But other than that, they will go there and then practice if really they do have those skills and those expertise.
Now they are let in with so many loopholes, so it leaves a gap and everybody can come in. And then we have something called within then the National Assembly, the Ethics Committee. The expectation is that now the Ethics Committee is then supposed to monitor how MPs conduct themselves. When you've already let them in, how difficult does it become for that committee to then bring them in line with how they should conduct themselves now that they're members of parliament?
And that is the key, what I was saying, Thabo. That's a dynamic, because the Parliamentary Ethics Committee only comes in once a person has been sworn in as an MP. So the conduct, as an MP from that time of being sworn in, that is when the Ethics Committee can come in. But before that, that is why I say maybe they need to look into that the people who are joining Parliament, maybe they need to extend the scope of the Ethics Committee, so that the Ethics Committee can also, within Parliament itself, they can vet each and everyone, not only vetted by their own respective parties, but by Parliament itself, so that when it comes to ethical issues, and then it can be said the Ethics Committee should have the right to say that we cannot accept this person to be a lawmaker of the country, and this person to be an honorable member with this cloud, you know. But unfortunately, at the moment, it doesn't have that.
It's a difficult question. I don't know if you'll be able to navigate it, because it has been suggested in other instances to follow this legalistic approach in terms of setting in place professional standards for parliamentarians as to this is the caliber of person that needs to come in. They need to be vetted. They could be vetted via security, or they could be vetted maybe in a more casual way. But others have raised the question to say, well, that vetting can be used as an instrument of exclusion, to say, well, particular individuals then cannot exercise their political freedom. How do you navigate that particular space so that even though you're voting, you still get a sense that people are given the freedom to participate in politics?
No, people must be given the freedom, and it's their right to participate. However, the sending parties, that is because the people who are there in Parliament, they represent certain political parties. The sending party is the one that not only vetting, but is the one that cultivates and builds this culture, the culture of integrity, which embodies honesty, transparency, consistency, trust, accountability, so that when people says, wow, we see the MP sent by this political party, it seems like these people means business and they don't have any questionable characters there. However, because of that posture or that approach of legalistic, because people, they tend to forget that Of course, yes, what is legalistic may not be ethical. You know, sometimes it can be legalistic. There's so many
it's open
people
to abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many people who have taken certain cases to court.
Yes.
Others won them.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that because you've won the court, then you are ethical. You know, so that is why it's important that we need leaders with integrity, and then we need political parties that will really promote and foster this culture of integrity.
A lot of honors that you're putting on the political parties for themselves to actually do something about this. And one of the issues that would have come up there is the matter of hosts, which the DA, after pressure from society, decided as a party to take some action on it.
Well, the DA, of course, I mean, was quite wrong there because they argued that this matter happened, when was it? 9 years or 16 years ago, whatever, many years ago.
Yeah.
So it means that now you can bring or allow this person to come in, which was unfortunate of them there, because when you bring someone, whether it's something happened 20 years ago or you've got to, we are keeping using this word vet, that you are going to look into this character or this person that is going to represent you, because whatever that this person does or says, it comes back to you as a party, because this person represents you. So it's important that whoever that goes there will have or will understand the values of the sent party.
Prof, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming in this evening. Well, the question still stands for you this evening. Those who take up the oath of office, are they genuinely invested in it? What are your thoughts? 072 110 5584. Drop us an X at Newzroom 405.